Welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review. This is episode number 12. This I'm reviewing the 62nd episode of the Black Clover anime, Those Who Boost Each Other Up, and the 185th chapter in the manga, Dream Encounter. Yep. This episode that aired, it aired yesterday. This one's adapted from chapters 94, pretty much picks up where 94 left off. Basically, it's from 94 to 96. Starts off the Asha versus Lederos arc, Lederos fight per se. It kind of picks up like immediately after, like Asha and Mars defeated Fauna, and of course Fauna gets a chance to sort of interact with Asha, which that was really nice. And of course, she gets to also interact with her former master, Zell. I thought that was a really touching scene, and the fact got a chance to hug both of them. The fact they're both alive and well, and of course they have Noelle, Vanessa, and Fenrir basically once again beating up Asha for the second time in this arc. This time for risking his life. For acting dumb. That's basically the reasoning for that. Yep. And then, of course, it's the fact they're all celebrating. Lederos shows up, apparently alive and well, though it's kind of explained the reason why he's alive. You know, he was magic was depleted. He ate all the magic, and he has this really odd conversation with Asha, who I should point out, though, is basically his shirt is pretty much virtually destroyed. Yeah, only the bottom half of the shirt is remaining, like one part of a sleeve, and he's got his shorts still kind of torn a bit, and he lost one of his shoes. Yeah, but yeah, he looks like he's half naked. And kind of the same thing with Mars. It's kind of the same thing with him as well, which is so weird. And of course, Lederos points out, though, that him and Asha are very similar to each other. The fact that Asha was born out of magic, and of course, Lederos was born out with a magical attribute. And of course, he offers him a chance to join the Diamond Kingdom, the Diamond Kingdom Army. Asha says no because he wants to become the Wizard King of the Clover Kingdom. So they have their fight, and it's a pretty damn good fight. And of course, he's able to block all their lasers. And he asks him, like, why did he get involved in this little scuffle? Why did he try to fight him? And the simple as this, he considers Mars a friend. So yeah. And of course, Mars protects Fauna from the 1 million lasers with his body. And he gets sort of charred, but she basically heals him up. It's kind of very heavily implied by the scene that both Fauna and Mars have a thing for each other, despite being old childhood friends. I wouldn't be surprised. After all, these two have known each other for a long time, so I wouldn't be surprised about it. Yep. And let's see. They have their fight for a while, and Asha and Lederos, and then he jumps over to Fauna, holds her hostage, and has her to use the power that she kept hidden. And if she doesn't, he'll kill Mars. And she does. And she sort of collapses right on top of Mars. Though, it's kind of her getting payback for Mars collapsing on top of her. Though, like, in the case of Mars, it's like literally like right vertically or on top of him. In the case of Fauna, it's like over his belly, while in the case of Mars, it's like directly on top of her. And of course, you have this other mode that he looks like he's in. And then Asha's like lying on the ground after taking all those hits. And then the Queen of the Forest has something really weird. Yeah, she sort of like makes movements in Asha's back, and there's this black stuff that comes out, and I kind of know what this is. This is the Black Asha mode. Yeah, she basically gave Asha a new mode, the Black Asha mode. And that's how the episode ends, with a cliffhanger. Unlike last week's episode, ends with a nice happy ending, despite the fact we still have more coming. Yeah. Looks like, I think next week's episode, as of right now, I think it will still take about 2 more episodes, maybe 3, to wrap up this arc. Yeah, the way it looks for next episode, it might wrap up this fight and maybe start the last fight of this arc. Yep. And of course, they had that pretty Clover moment of like how stuff tastes so good. I would have loved it if they focused on the meeting, like a little more of Asha and Fauna. Yep. Now let's talk about the newest chapter of the manga. Dream Encounter. This is a really, really short chapter. Like it starts off, looks like Luck just launching himself off the cloud some of the characters are on. At a door, which is chained up. And I think this is supposed to be Fauna. It's like I can erase him, stuff like that. And we also see, looks like, I think that's I don't remember his name yet. I think that's the female scientist lady who looks like she's turning against. I think that's her. I know it's Charmy and the guy who is a ladies' man. Well, the guy who rides a broom that looks like Lobo's his space hog. Yeah, and of course they figure out a plan to defeat Fauna. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be Fauna in elf form with all this other magic stuff. And the scientist lady just takes out some other dolls that she creates and takes her on. Create the real Dorothy Osworth. Like, okay. It's just, good job, Black Bulls. I'm a captain after all. Yep. Of course, this black stuff surrounds her, and looks like I think it's Noelle just in here. Takes it some giant serpent, some snake. Yeah, with a knight taking the thing out, pretty much right through the mouth, similar to what Harry Potter did in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets when he killed the Basilisk. Yeah, sword right through the mouth. Yep. There's a big explosion. Everybody's like cheering, and then of course the chapter ends with combination magic. Combination magic cannon, and looks like everything's about to go something. And that's how the chapter ends. It's an okay chapter. I mean, with exception now, some of the characters I don't really remember what these characters are. I mean, the only characters I recognize is the guy with the space hog, the guy with the broom hog, Charmy. I think the glasses girl was supposed to be the scientist lady from the Eye of the Midnight Sun, probably turned against them. And Luck is in here as well, which is nice to see him. Luck is the guy who basically loves to get into a fight. But the artwork is still really good for this particular series, and for this chapter, I'm gonna give this one roughly a 8.5 out of 10. It's a bit of a step down from last week's chapter, but it's still an okay chapter. It's not terrible, but it felt like it was really quick. Yeah, a really quick chapter, a little quicker than usual. Yeah, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for my review of the newest episode, Tokyo Ghoul Re. Yep, until I see you in the next review. Bye.